Hello everybody, this is Hypersonic and welcome back to Season 2 of the Sonic CD Soundtrack Comparisons, Episode 4, Tidal Tempest. The Japanese soundtrack has taken back the lead from the American soundtrack by 2 songs. Can it maintain its lead in this video? We'll find out. Let's just get right into it. Round 9, Tidal Tempest present. Here's the Japanese version. And now for the American version. I am certainly in the minority that thinks that both verses of this song really aren't too impressive. In fact, I go as far as saying that they're both my least favorite present themes from both soundtracks. The Japanese version is just kind of boring to listen to, but it does have some sort of like watery feeling. It has some good parts in it, but I find it to be kind of boring. The US version of Tidal Tempest present is also kind of boring. but I do think it fits the stage more, weirdly enough. It just makes it just a bit more fun than the Japanese version, it definitely does. But it sounds like that boring pop music got playing on radio stations, which I'm not really too big a fan of that type of music. I will admit that the album version is far better than the in-game version for Tidal Tempest present US, but the Japanese version has always meant something more special to me since it is one of the first songs from this game I've ever listened to. And I still like it more as a song, and I do think it is better aligned with my taste. So, Japanese soundtrack wins this round. Round 10, Tidal Tempest Bad Future. Here's the Japanese version. And now for the American version. Alright, this round is much easier to decide. Both variations of the song are very, very great. The American version is more emotional, much better fits the Bad Future, sounds very aquatic, very evil, dramatic. It does a lot of things right. In the Japanese version, it's so distorted, it doesn't even sound like the Depressed theme. I don't really see any similarities between the Depressed theme at the time of this video. Both of these are very good Bad Future themes. So which one do I end up liking more? In the first season, I gave this round to the US soundtrack because at the time it was my favorite Bad Future for the American soundtrack. I'm not sure if it still is, but it's definitely among one of my favorites. The Japanese version, however, has been consistently one of my favorite Bad Futures from the entire game, and it is the only time where the Bad Future is better than the Good Future and Present song for the Japanese soundtrack. That gives the Japanese soundtrack a very big boost in terms of which one wins. Both versions of the song have very great instruments that do a very well job of showing how bad things have gone in the future. One thing I will say about the American version is that sometimes the notes can be a bit too ear grating. Some of those high-pitched screams and notes in the song are sometimes very bad if you're in an echoey room with a Bluetooth speaker. That's really the only thing that knocks it down, and to the fact that the Japanese version, again, as I stated, better than the good future and present theme. So Japanese soundtrack wins this round. Round 11. Tidal Tempest, Good Future. Here's the Japanese version. And now for the American version. This is once again easy. The Japanese version has some of the same problems I have with All Japanic's Good Future. That's too similar to the present theme. It's not as boring as the present theme, but it's kind of boring. I do like the unused loop though. I do like that percussion. I do like some of those notes. But I do think it also sometimes for Good Future is kind of sad. It still fits a Good Future, but it's kind of sad for a Good Future. Whereas the American version is just straight up epic. It's one of my favorites in the game. Like, it's just 90s rock. This is a good guitar. It kind of fits too. Some of those notes are kind of aquatic and whatnot in the beginning of the song. It's just generally very epic. It's just a much better song. America wins this round by no contest. The score is 7 for the Japanese soundtrack, 4 for the American soundtrack. The lead for the Japanese soundtrack is growing. Will it shrink in the next episode? Find out next time on Quartz Quadrant. God bless.